Hiya, I'm in one of my local woods today and I'm here to test, to see how well I can get on with 3 books I was given earlier on today. And they're all Collins Gem books. And one is called Trees, which is for identification of trees and information about trees. One is called Mushrooms, which is the same but with fungi and mushrooms. And the other one is a good old favourite, Food for Free, pocket-sized version. So I'll get out into the woods, have a look around, and we'll see what we come across. See how useful the books are. Alright, cheers. I've just come across a couple of burdock plants, so I'll just show you actually. Adjust this. There, should be able to see one there, and one over there as well. And let's just see if this book probably come under Food for Free, I would have thought. Let's have a look and see what she says. Food for Free. Burdock is not actually in the book. Food for Free. So that's a bad point towards it already. And okay, let's see if we can find something else that is in the book. Okay, here we have a large patch of brambles. Everyone knows what brambles look like. Blackberries to other people. There's some young berries, well, young fruit growing there, and just starting to ripen off a little over there. Okay, and we'll have a look in the book and see what it says. In the book, as you can see, in the blackberries, it has all the stages of it and different colours you can find them in, and the information it says about it apparently says it's only known as brambles in Scotland, but that's not entirely true. Where's the actual useful bit, the eating? Harvest pick lowest berries right at the tip of the stalk. They're the first to ripen. Sweetest and fattest of all. Eaten raw. A few weeks later the other berries near the end ripen. These are less juicy but are still good for jam and pies. Small berries further to the stalk often do not ripen until October. They are hard and slightly bitter and are only really useful, sorry, if cooked with other fruit. So there you go. So pretty useful. There's another picture obviously of ripe cluster of them, or string, whatever you want to call it. And then it moves on to black currants after that. So far that book has been quite useful for showing the different phases or different colours that they can be found in, and which ones taste the best and which ones don't. So there's a plus point for it. Here we have a small stinging nettle as opposed to a dead nettle. The stinging nettles will sting you. I've very rarely seen these flower as much as dead nettles, and I know that one is definitely in the book. As you can see, there's not much of it around here. That's bramble, so ignore that. It's just that tiny little part, and it's quite surprising really, because you don't normally see it underneath a tree canopy like this. It's normally on the edge of the woodlands. Here we go. Nettle stinging. See if you can see that. Waste and cultivated ground, wet woods, hedge banks and river valleys, widespread and often abundant throughout Europe. A coarse, upright perennial covered with fine stinging hairs. Leaves toothed and heart-shaped, flowers thin catkins and undistinguished green flowers. From June till September, that is. So that's pretty informative. Only the one picture for that one. Oh, sorry, only the 2 pictures for that one there. The illustration there and the photograph. There we although this one doesn't look like that. But it looks like their illustration anyway. So they've got one of them that's very useful. I mean, a lot of the time they are seen like that, the photograph there, but this one's only a small one, so I expect that's probably why that's not like that. Okay, let's see if we can find anything else further up there. Pick up the tripod on the way. I've just come across a little pile that's quite abundant, really. It's also a good indicator of where this book can come in handy, because here we have two different plants that are listed on the same page, but are actually different to each other, and I'll show you now. Okay, here is cow parsley. You see that? It's quite a common one. Most people know what it looks like. And that is, well, taller than me, that one, which is listed in here. And cow parsley, as it says, grows up to, well, it says it grows up to 1.2 meters or 4 feet, but that one's obviously a bit bigger. That's 6 foot, that one. But the height is the main thing. Now, the other one it lists on here is fool's parsley, which is this little one down here. See, very tiny, which looks quite similar to it, really, but it has a smooth stem with no hairs on it. Hairless stem all the way down to the bottom. Now the cow parsley, when you get down the bottom, if I can find a bit to get to, right, can you see it's quite furry looking down there, see, on the stem. And the height is the main indicator, because cow parsley is right up here, fool's parsley is right down there. And it says in here, right at the bottom, let's see if we can get in on that. There you go. Cow parsley up to 4 feet, fool's parsley up to ½ meter, so 12 inches. And it even tells you there, stout pale green, furrowed, slightly hairy stem on the cow parsley, and thin, hairless, ribbed, hollow stem on the fool's parsley. And fool's parsley is actually dangerous to eat. It's poisonous to you, so stay away from that one. Also, we have more burdock here, which I'm surprised they haven't listed in their book, because the root of that is quite useful to eat. Also blackberries in amongst all this. So quite a little patch there. And just make sure you don't confuse fool's parsley with cow parsley. And there's some more nettles over here as well. That's more like the picture for the stinging nettles. I've just come across a hazel tree just behind me there, and this will actually feature in both books, the Food for Free and the Trees book. That is the illustrations in the tree book for the leaves and the catkins and the main, well, it's more of a bush than a tree really, because it doesn't have a single stem normally. And in the Food for Free book, it's got that tiny little picture at the top there, just a quick illustration. And going by the description in the book, it's very easy to follow. Hazel is not strictly a tree. If we adhere to requirements for a single trunk, it is almost invariably produced as dense mass of long arching branches, etc, etc. Tells you where it grows. Leaf characteristic of hazel in summer, round pointed tipped leaves with softly prickly hair. No flowers on this one at the moment, or any fruits, because that's an autumn thing, but I'll I'll show you a close-up of that. There is the mass of branches that comes out of the ground, as you can see. Comes out, arches over as the book says, and these are those leaves, rounded, slightly pointed, and this one is, a lot of the leaves have been eaten by insects unfortunately, but such is the way of it. Everything's food for something. And there is a small catkin hanging off of it somewhere. There, up there. Just there. But most of them have fallen off now, so there's not many left on it. But so far that book is, the trees book anyway, is very useful for identifying this tree, or shrub, bush, whatever you want to call it. But the food for free book, not so much. I mean, if you had both of the books, they'd be very useful, because the leaves on this one are more like this one in the food for free book, which it shows you the eaten, sort of dead looking leaves, whereas the tree book doesn't. But yeah, generally good description in both. And this tree here is a hawthorn, which is probably been the bane of many bushcrafters' lives, trying to scramble through it. And I'll show you the leaves. Quite easy to identify the leaves. They're normally split into three. That's a better shot there, that one there. See if we can get this to focus. I don't think it's going to focus properly on that, but there you can see, sort of like a heart with an extra bit sticking out of it, or a spade in a pack of cards. And this one hasn't got too many thorns on it at the moment, which is lucky, but if we go further up we should be able to, there we go. See if we can see that. You can see the big spiky thorns sticking out, with the camera's not going to focus and play the game. But there is one of the big thorns, and there's another one poking out of this side. Here and here. And generally a pretty nasty tree. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that. Let's see if we can get a better view from back here of it, but it's hiding behind this other tree at the moment. So it's normally quite dense growth, like that there, that section there. It's normally like that all the way over when it's in the open and it can get the light. And as I say, it's a pretty nasty plant. But here we go. This is the trees book. Their little get the words out. Their little illustration of it. And this one here is more like the top. That one there. Although that's not quite as heart-shaped as these ones. These aren't really the same. It has got the green berry growing on it in one place. Some of them have died, or well, I say berry, it's a sort of, I suppose it's classed as a berry, and that's normally what they look like, but a lot of them come closer to the ground. They overhang and drag close to the ground, so it makes it very difficult to get around them or through them. So this one's quite good. Bright brown flaky bark, leaves variable but lobed, so these are slightly different. At least halfway to the mid-rib, normally with 3 to 4 pairs of lobes. Flowers, this one hasn't got any flowers on it, so that's not really apparent at the moment, but they will look like where are we? Flowers. Dense clusters. In late May and early June, each 10 to 15 millimeters across, white but turning pink as they mature. Occasionally pink or double flowered forms occur and are more planted. Each flower has only one style and one ovary. Fruit, that's what the berries are, the fruit obviously. Deep red, sometimes purplish, ripe in September. So next month the what few berries are on that one will probably be ripe, and that's about it. So pretty good on that one as well. Now this tree here is the sweet chestnut, which is characteristic by its leaves normally, which are some of the largest. I can show you. I have to move the camera down a little bit. There you go. Which are some of the largest of any tree in this country, and the longest anyway. Normally quite glossy finish to them, as you can see. Toothed on the edges. And in this book, the picture is very good. The leaf shape's about right. It's even got the green buds, which are just, well, you can't really see that one, but there is a little tiny green bud on the end of that one. Not many, but a few. Obviously no fruit on this one at the moment. But the description of the bark probably isn't the best for this particular tree, because it says quite characteristic with deep spiral parallel ridges which usually twist sharply near the ground. Twigs bear large squat buds, but let's have a look at the base of this tree, which is this one here. I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's not really a lot of spiral action going on with it. And that one just there, that's the other part of it. Ignore the one in the background. And that goes up into the canopy where the rest of it is. But like I say, there's not really any spiralling parallel ribs as such. Is that what it says? Ridges, sorry. But what you can see is the little fold in the bark there, those parallel lines, the ridges, where the tree curves over. It's like the bark goes soft and it starts to ripple a bit like an elephant's skin. But other than that, well, there's a few more marks there, but they're not really spiraled. Other than that, this the book again is quite good, with a good illustration of the leaves, which are the most characteristic part of it. And I'm not quite sure why they always put the picture of the tree in the open like that, because you very rarely see any trees, well, definitely in a woodland area, you'd very rarely see the whole tree like that. Maybe in a park or along the side of a road somewhere in an urban area, but generally out in the country they're packed more densely than that. So it's another good one for the book. So far the trees book is doing well as well. Well, that that shows you a little bit about the books. I'm not going to go into detail on all of the trees and plants that are around here that are in the book, but initial thoughts are they're reasonably good. I mean, obviously they can be improved, but everything can be improved. They can't fit all of the information possible into such a small book, so generally pleased. Yeah, for the price they are, I mean, they're a bargain. They'll give you an insight into lots of the basic foods that you can eat, the most common trees in the country. Sadly didn't get a chance to see any fungi or mushrooms while I was out and about today, but another day hopefully I'll keep the books with me in my pack and see what we can find. And thanks for watching again, I guess, really. Okay, thanks.